Hi there, business owner. Are you looking to improve your business knowledge? Do you want to see behind the scenes of successful businesses? And more importantly, are you looking to build a better business in just 15 minutes each week? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the 3Bs podcast. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast. If you're new around here, hi, I'm your host Stephanie, and these podcasts are 15-minute weekly episodes packed full of motivation, inspiration and knowledge so that you can build a better business. If you've been here a while, thank you for continuing to listen. It really does mean the world to me. If you could do me one favor this week, like, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to it, it will really help me push it out to more business owners so that we can all build better businesses together. I am aware that Google Podcasts is going away, which is somewhere that we host, and we do have some listeners that listen on Google Podcasts. If that's you, we are available in lots of other places, but if you find us not in a particular place where you like to listen to podcasts, do let us know and we can get it published there too. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible, the list goes on. This week's episode is all about time management for entrepreneurs. Firstly, we never have enough hours in the day. As entrepreneurs, there's always something else that needs to be done. There's never enough hours in the day. And if we could extend time, things would be great. But secondly, I really wanted to do this episode because I came from industry. So one of the biggest challenges I faced coming from industry was managing multiple clients and time management across all of those clients equally. As I said, I came from employment, I came from industry, I worked for one business full time, and it's a big adjustment to looking after multiple businesses that are your clients as well as your own business and building that at the same time. So I wanted to make this episode to share with you some time management top tips or ways to manage your time most effectively and efficiently so that you can build a better business. Let's get on with the episode. I wanted to start by saying that depending on how you learn, depending on what you've already tried, there's going to be a number of tools and techniques that I'm going to talk about in this episode, but not all of them will be relevant for you and not all of them will work for you. What I say wholeheartedly is to try them out and see what works for you. Have a listen to the episode, think about the ones that you feel will be the best fit for you and try them out. And if they don't work, it doesn't matter. You've tried it. Trial and error is a key part of owning a business, and you try the next thing until you find what works for you. In the same way that if you have a technique or time management tool that you are currently using and it kind of works, now is a great time to try something else, because as your business grows and develops, your time management will also change. Quite often as a business grows and scales, you will find that you're working more on the business than in the business operationally. And that time that you usually spend on your accountancy function will be delegated to an accountant or a bookkeeper. So you've got more time to fill with other things and other priorities in your business. So try them out. If they don't work, you've not lost anything. You've learned from it. And if they do work, great. You can build a better business and be more efficient with your time. I'm going to go through 3 of the more popular time management techniques that either we use in our businesses or my clients use in their businesses and have success with them. The first one is the Pomodoro technique. Now, if you haven't heard of it, the Pomodoro technique involves working in 25-minute intervals with a 5-minute break before starting the next 25-minute interval. Each of those intervals are called a Pomodoro, and after 4 cycles of Pomodoros, you would then take a longer break to refresh your brain and your focusing power before you start it all over again. Now, I really like the Pomodoro technique because it allows me to stay really structured within my working time. So I've got 25 minutes on emails, or I've got 25 minutes on marketing, or 25 minutes on client work. I also try to fit my meetings into those 25-minute Pomodoros because that enables us to set better boundaries with our clients and ensure that they don't overrun or scope creep. If you're anything like me, as a business owner and an entrepreneur, our focus is pulled in multiple directions at all times, whether that's an email notification, a ping on your phone, a knock on the door, or a staff member that needs your help. Our focus is constantly pulled away from the task at hand. And that's naturally just what happens to us as business owners. What I like about the Pomodoro technique is that you are setting aside those 5 minutes for those things, but you can also set your phone and most computers now to like a do not disturb mode and really get that focused work done with a better level of productivity. You can get more done in that time when you are constantly having those notifications, even if it's just not even a 5 minute, if it is a 30-second check to see who the email that's just coming is from, you're going to lose much more time than that by getting back on task and then trying to regain that focus of where you were before you were distracted. So the Pomodoro technique eliminates that focus being pulled, which means you're getting more work done in your working day and increasing productivity and your output. Similar to the Pomodoro technique is one that you most probably will have heard of. It's one of the more popularly talked about ones, and that is time blocking. So time blocking is involving you scheduling specific blocks of time for different tasks or activities throughout the day. So you would set a block of time to a specific task. So you would answer your emails in that 30-minute block. You would have your meeting in a 15-minute block, or you would put your marketing down for 30 minutes, for example, and you would break your whole day up into those single tasks or groups of similar tasks and block aside that specific time for that task. And they're great for providing structure to your day. They minimize you multitasking, which again, like I was saying before, pulling your focus from different tasks onto other tasks, which makes you less productive. And by time blocking, you can also ensure that you're dedicating time for the important things in your business. Specifically, this comes into play with business owners who are not prioritizing their own business. So they're too busy working on their clients' businesses and providing the products and services, and they're not working on building their own business. So time blocking is really useful for that. However, time blocking personally does not work for me. As I said, not every technique will work for every person. But time blocking does not work for me. And what I have found is it doesn't work for a majority of my clients' staff. Now, this is because some people, if you're given an hour to complete a task, it will take you an hour to complete a task, even if the task can be completed just as well in 30 minutes. So it actually reduces the productivity and output. So it is a fine balance, and it's worth trialing them out to see what works for you, and what works for you might not work for your employee. So that's important to be mindful of too. And the final technique I wanted to talk about today is the Eisenhower matrix. Now, this one is less commonly heard of by its name. So not many people have heard of the Eisenhower matrix. It's not the film, FYI. But the Eisenhower matrix is completed without the name of it quite often in business. And you may be already doing this without realizing that that's what you are doing. Similar to the Pomodoro technique, if you don't know it's called that, but you may be blocking those 25 minutes out and then having a short break in between before starting the next block of focused work. The Eisenhower matrix is the urgent important matrix, is another name it's known by. And this technique helps you to prioritize tasks by urgency and importance. What often happens is people will split their bit of paper or split their screen into 4, and in each of the 4 quadrants, you would put the following. So you would put urgent and important in one quadrant, important but not urgent in another quadrant, urgent but not important in the third quadrant, and neither urgent nor important in the fourth quadrant. Now, where this is great is that you will put your tasks then into this matrix, and it enables you to see what's really important and most impactful in your business. There will be things that are time bound, that have deadlines that have to be met, and they will go into your urgent side and important side, particularly if it's a production issue or it's a task revolving compliance or those deadlines that cannot be moved. And once you've put all your tasks into this matrix, you would then focus on the urgent and important first. And that helps you to stay focused on what task you're doing now and also what task you're doing next. Because for a lot of people, I'm that sort of person too, is that I can't focus on one task alone. My brain is already open on the next task. I saw a quote on social media this week that said, my brain has 86 tabs open and can't figure out where the sound is coming from. And that is a key example of how a lot of entrepreneurs' minds work, because we're thinking about that contract that needs signing, that supplier that we need to contact, that employee that's going on annual leave next week, that recruitment interviews that we need to set up, alongside everything else and running around in our brains, particularly if we are sole traders or sole directors and working on your own without a team around you to delegate some of those tasks to. This matrix also helps if you do have staff and need to delegate, because you can delegate those tasks based on the urgency and the priority of the business. What I would say is, if you're doing the Eisenhower matrix, you have to be really honest with yourself and honest with the piece of paper or the screen of how important these tasks actually are. Because the first time I tried to do it, I think 95% of my to-do list went into urgent and important. And in all honesty, once I really thought about it, they're not all urgent and important. So you need to be really honest with yourself if the urgent important matrix or Eisenhower matrix is a technique that you're going to try. So there's 3 time management techniques that are commonly used. They're not the only ones, so there's plenty out there, but they're 3 that are quite commonly used, that I see used a lot with success by my clients and in our businesses. But I want to talk about my favorite thing. So anyone that knows me, anyone that knows the podcast has been following for a while, will know that I am a lover of all things technology. I'm a lover of all things data. And more importantly, I am a lover of things that save me and my clients time, money, stress. And tools are no different for time management. They also can help with those things. So these tools are ones that I've chosen that are quite helpful when you're getting started with your time management. If you've not monitored it before, if you've not started to increase the productivity that way, then these are great for you to get started with. The first one is Toggle, and I will pop this in the show notes for you so that you can go away and have a look at them. Toggle is a time tracking tool that helps you to measure how much time you spend on different tasks and projects. This is really helpful if you are looking to implement time blocking as a technique, because this will track the actual time spent completing that task. And then you can more accurately and make more informed decisions when how much time to block out for that task or that project. I like the fact that it provides detailed reports so that you can analyze the productivity, and it's quite simple, and it does integrate with other project management tools as well. So again, having everything in one central point is really beneficial, and it saves time when it's all in one place. But Toggle is quick and easy to use and can be used collaboratively, which can help if you're monitoring your employees' time as well. The second time management tool is Trello. So if you're a visual learner, if you like to see things written down, if you're a serial note taker, then Trello could be a really good tool for you, because it's a project management board that uses lists and boards and cards to organize the tasks and projects into different areas. But it's fully customizable, and you can add due dates, checklists, labels, and it integrates with Slack. So if you communicate via Slack with your team, that will link into it. And if you store files in things like Google Drive, that also links in as well seamlessly, making things quicker, easier, and more productive, as well as being able to track the progress of various projects and what your team members are doing in real time. And thirdly, I can't have an episode talking about anything productivity based without mentioning ClickUp. Now, ClickUp is a CRM software that we use in our practice and all our businesses to track our projects, our time, and we store everything in there. It has a whole host of integrations and is our one-stop shop for project and time management. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please connect with us on social media, like, rate and review wherever you are listening to this podcast so that I can help more business owners build a better business. See you next week.